Have you ever thought or wondered that some kind of foods that you have seen either in real life or in social media don't look appetizing, they are not good looking, and even can be disgusting sometimes? And if you ever get the chance to smell them, you in no way are going to try those kind of foods in your life. And obviously you are not gonna eat it, you are gonna pass on it and maybe label it as weird foods. And this happens a lot around the world when we have only one culture we grew up in. And this is true since, for example, for us Panamanians, we have, for example, sao, and this food is basically pig feet, and it might be normal for us to eat, but for other countries around the world it might seem a little strange, even weird, because we're eating the feet of the pig. But this might not be respectful at all if other others think that this is weird or disgusting, because it's just a part of our culture and our identity. So now I will introduce you to the top 5 weird foods considered weird that I have tried also, so I can give an opinion on it. So the top 5 we have here the egg yolks. So as for the egg yolks, it might seem there that it is raw, but what I want to talk about today is the pickled egg yolks. So obviously, because it is a pickled or marinated egg yolk, it will be in itself cooked, so it is safe to eat. It just depends on where do you get your eggs. If it's salmonella free, so you don't get any harm to your body or stomach. And then the one I tried is the Thai pickled egg in fish sauce. This is called the Kai Dom Nam Phra, and I tried this back when I was in China, and my Thai friend decided to make this, and I was skeptical at first because it looked raw at first, but then he told me that it is marinated, it will become maybe chewy or maybe just dense over time when it's finished marinating. And for this ingredient, main ingredient, we have the fish sauce, we have coconut palm sugar, diced garlic, and diced red peppers. And its taste was an umami flavor because it has the savory, sweet, and spiciness of all of the ingredients they put on it, and it just tastes good overall, even with rice. So as for the left image, we have Japanese marinated egg yolk, and I have not tried this, but I just wanted to point out that several Asian countries they like to eat this kind of pickled egg yolk specifically, and in Japan, Thailand, and China. And so for this Japanese marinated egg yolk, they use soy sauce to marinate with, and mirin, which is Japanese rice vinegar. And overall, people just like to eat it with rice, warm rice. And its texture and taste may depend on the person. If they want it more chewy, like Thai people, then maybe they will like it like in the image. But then if Japanese people or maybe other people that like egg yolks in general, they will like it still runny, like in fried eggs. So now for the top 4 weird foods that I have tried, maybe you can guess, it is another egg. So this egg is called the century egg, or in Chinese, pi dan. And a lot of people used to call it, or maybe still call it, century egg because it's 100 years old, which is not true. They call it like this because it looks so old. It looks something that your grandmother bequeathed to you, or passed on to you, and it looks moldy after all, because when something starts to mold, it looks just black, and maybe that's why people don't want to eat it, because when you cut it in half, it will start to have this pungent smell. So maybe that's why they are not willing to try it. So it is not raw, obviously. There is a specific process that this egg goes through in order to have that color and taste. So it looks just like regular white or hard-boiled egg, and after it goes through that process, it becomes on the outsides, like in the left image, it becomes like a beautiful snowflake pattern on the outside layer of the egg, and in the inside the whites become gelatinous and the egg yolks become sticky and some sort of creamy cheese-like texture. And when you open it, like I said, there might be some remainings of the yolk in your knife because it is sticky, and it is recommended to eat it with rice porridge or congee. And I have of course tried this since I was a kid, and I thought it was weird because it looks different. And as for this egg's taste, I can tell you that it is salty, but not too salty so that you can enjoy it. And aside from being salty, I cannot explain it with words because this is a dish that you must try for yourself and see if it's to your liking. And obviously these are duck eggs. They use other kind of eggs too, but when they make it with duck eggs, apparently it is more tasty that way. Now, there has been many baseless rumors or just misconceptions about the pidang, and that is, for example, that it is made with horse pee or horse urine, which is not true. It has been debunked by researchers and the ones that makes the egg themselves. And as you saw in the video, it is not made with horse urine. It is made with several ingredients that make this egg black. And the third one would be that it contains lead, which it might be true, but not in all eggs they use lead. So that's why it is considered to be a Chinese delicacy, because in some or the majority of pidang they use a certain amount of lead, but it is not inside of the egg. It is used to stop the process of over fermentation. So like it is on a certain point of saltiness. And this one I can give an opinion of it because I've eaten this since I was a kid, and I didn't used to enjoy it because I thought it was weird at first, but then it became an acquired taste over the years, and I just eat it every Sunday with congee or rice porridge, and this is something that you must try if you're a big fan of eggs in general.
The century egg, aka the 1,000-year-old egg, the millennium egg, or simply the black egg, is a preserved egg that is considered a delicacy in China. There are only a few people that continue to make them in the traditional way, including this husband and wife pair. A century egg is created by mixing tea, quicklime, salt, and freshly burned wood ashes with water to create a mud-like paste. Raw eggs are then covered in the paste, rolled in rice husks so they don't stick together, put in a vat, and left to sit, as the name suggests, for 100 years. Okay, it just looks like they've been sitting for 100 years.
天的这是10天好吃嘞，天冷的是吃到30天。
看上面个蛋剥开来就是黑的嘛，很好看的嘛，外面是黄的，里面是黑的，溜小小的。
While the origins of the dish are murky, legends trace the creation back over 500 years to the Ming Dynasty, when a farmer discovered duck eggs lying naturally preserved in a muddy pool of water. Today, the century egg is often eaten during special occasions.
就是我们地方一般人就是订婚、结婚都是用的啦，油微微的嘛，很好吃的嘛。
Of course, not everyone is a fan at first.
我吃很好吃，人家吃它是不好吃，对吧？这样的人也有的。
But for the millions and millions who love to eat century eggs, Uncle Wu and Auntie Sun plan to keep on making them.
我人还活着，做的东西就要做下去，很好吃的，请你们外国人都吃逼的。
And now for the next top 5 weird foods that I have tried. We have for the top 3 chicken feet. So yes, we're going through a path that has a lot of things related to chickens and birds in general. And yes, we have chicken feet, and it might sound weird or look weird just by looking at it, but there's many countries that eat chicken feet, especially in Mexico and China. But the one I'm going to talk about is the chicken feet that is made in China. And this one is more commonly or popular in China and Southeast Asian countries, in Vietnam, in Thailand, or maybe in the Philippines also, and Indonesia, and maybe also in like East Asian countries like Korea and maybe Japan. And the one I'm going to talk about today is the 2 types of chicken feet that are made in China, and the one that is on the left is the Baiyun chicken feet, and this one is a sweet and sour chicken feet. It is made with ginger, red chili peppers, as you can see in the image. They use white vinegar, rice wine, or cooking wine also, and lime juice. So it is kind of like a sao, kind of, but not quite. And then on the right we have your classic dim sum chicken feet, and if you haven't tried this yet, you must go to eat dim sum and give it a try to this dim sum chicken feet. And this one is this color because of the ingredients that are used to make this chicken feet, and it is mainly oyster sauce and soy sauce. They're your typical Chinese ingredients to use in Chinese cuisine, and both of these are considered to be dim sum snacks or food or dishes, but this one on the right is more typically found in the restaurants. You need to take out their claws, and you can cook it your own way if you want to follow Chinese recipes or other types of recipes around the world that cooks chicken feet. And now for the top 2 weird foods that I have tried. We have this spiky fruit that looks a little bit terrorizing at first, but it is not. Let me tell you, this one is called a durian fruit. This is considered to be a superfruit or superfood. This is the name of it, the king of the fruits, because it has all the nutrients you could possibly think of. It has all of nutrients, vitamins, all of you can think of, and because it has a lot of nutrients, it is very pricey, and also because in the last years there has been a high demand for this fruit, and also because of its taste, it costs expensive. Maybe it ranges from $30 to $300 or more even, because there's many variations of this fruit. There are some that does not smell. There are some that might have a slightly different taste to it, and its texture is a custard like texture or creamy like cheesecake texture. And its taste, when I tasted back in China, it tastes something like diced garlic or caramel poured in whipped cream, or maybe just cream in general. And when you taste it, it kind of numbs your tongue, but not that much. It just gives you a slight numbness to your tongue, but at the same time giving you that savory, sweet, and creamy taste to it. But there are some people that don't like this fruit at all. They hate it instead, because when you first open it, it smells like putrid onions or smelly gym socks or even rotten fruits or rotten flesh. And they exaggerate this quite much, so much that they are not willing to pay so much for smelly fruit. And there's the people that love this fruit, like for them it tastes like caramel or vanilla ice cream even, because it has a creamy texture. It's, for example, an avocado when it's ripe, but slightly harder than that. So because it has a pungent smell, it is so smelly that it has been banned in public places around the world, especially in hotels or airports. Maybe in some places you will be fined if you still bring durians to those places. And now for the next one and the last one, which is top one. Maybe this one might be a little bit terrifying, but this one is a, yes, it is a scorpion. As for scorpions, these are eaten in certain regions of China and in Vietnam, and they are also sometimes eaten raw, but rarely, because some species are poisonous and may require more work to deal with, and are instead fried or deep fried and usually served in kebab style with spices. And when I bought this, it was not too expensive, by the way, and just by looking at it and at the image, it might seem tough to eat and hard because of their shell, but it is not. It tastes like beef jerky almost, and because it had spices, it had this peculiar taste. It's not similar to beef jerky, but it is in a sense, because it tastes meaty, meaning that might taste like you're eating meat but crunchy at the same time. So it is, because it is fried, of course. And if you ever go to these places, then I do not recommend it to you, but it tastes decently good. And if you go to those places, to those markets specifically, because those are coming from a market where they sell insects in general. So if you go there, I can just tell you to muster your courage and go try one, because you only live once. And that will be everything for this presentation. Thank you, and I hope you liked it.